Hey, what's up, everybody, Today, we're going to go back to school. I talk to a lot of investors, I talk to a lot of realtors, I get a lot of exchange with people here in the market, but I'm also beginning to get a lot of people who aren't really aware of what's going on in the market. And I'm not teaching a class, so I figured, for the next couple of videos, I'm going to tell people about the process. And today we are going to start with the foreclosure process.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
Okay, so first off, just going to say it. I'm not an attorney. Didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn, not pretending to be an attorney. I just know the process, the foreclosure process, the meaning of the foreclosure process. What is a foreclosure? What is a short sale? What's a deficiency judgment? What are all these things that are involved in a foreclosure? A lot of people don't know. If you have a homeowner in foreclosure, you may want to send them this video. I'm going to tell them a lot of information for free that they may not know. That would cost them quite a bit of money to even find out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this quick little video that actually Robin put together. She narrated it. And by the way, there's the lovely Robin. She's the wife. She's also the vocal talent, so you don't have to sit around listening to me narrate these things, but she narrated it. I put it together. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. We're going to jump right into this, and we're going to talk about the foreclosure process. And as we go through this, I'm going to stop like I always do when we do a video, and I'm going to explain more. So if you're a homeowner that's going through a tough time right now, and you need to know what the heck is going on, this video that you're about to watch is going to explain things to you and give you a working knowledge as to what's happening with your property. If you're a new investor and you're wondering, hey, listen, I want to get involved in real estate investing, but I'm not really sure how to navigate the whole foreclosure process. Newsflash, don't go spending $10,000 on a course. What you're about to hear is going to explain to you a good deal, pretty substantial deal as to what goes on in a foreclosure. Lastly, if you're a realtor and you don't know, but you're representing somebody in foreclosure, you may want to tune into this and take some notes. I mean, there's been some things going on with realtors lately that, some of the offers I've been putting out that I won't get into today. That'd be another video, but damn, some realtors need to have some information as to what goes on with the foreclosure. So let's get into it. So Robin's going to start, and then I'll stop and do my little interjections.
The foreclosure process often begins with a notice of default being sent to the homeowner after 3 or more payments are past due.
Okay. So what she just said, very simple. You all know it. If you miss your payments, whether it be on a car, an RV, a boat, or a house, they are then going to contact you via a notice of default saying, hey, dude, you haven't made your payments for the last couple months. We need you to understand that you need to make your payments. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, and this is where it gets the beginning, right off the bat, it gets a little bit scary, is people think this is a form letter, and they're not understanding that this is a legal process that is now beginning. They are following basically the protocols to foreclose on you. This isn't just a letter that says, hey, we'll see what happens. This is a legal letter. So let's continue.
At this point, it's in the homeowner's best interest to contact the bank before the bank pursues legal options and actually files a lawsuit to foreclose. After the notice of...
So what she just said there is absolutely correct. You need to be able to contact your bank Once you get this notice, don't wait. Don't hide. Don't throw the letter away. You need to understand it's in your best interest to make the call. Now understand, as we're in the era of the Rona, and there's all kinds of banks and government offices that are doing backflips to help you, you are especially compelled to make the call, because there's all kinds of safeguards that are in place. As you know, there is a foreclosure moratorium in place, but it doesn't work if you don't basically follow the directions. So let's continue.
After the notice of default has been sent to the homeowner and there has been no attempt to resolve the past due payments, the bank will file the lawsuit and record a lis pendens.
Okay. So now the bank is, hey, listen, we haven't heard from Mr. Smith. We don't know what Mr. Smith is doing. Hey, we've tried several times. We've called every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. We sent out this notice of default, and you've given us no choice. They haven't filed the COVID declaration. If you don't know what a COVID declaration is, or your realtor doesn't know, yeah, you need to find a new realtor. But if you haven't done anything, you just let it go, boom, they're going to file a lis pendens. And a lis pendens is basically a notification to the world that we're about to foreclose on this property. And it's filed in the public records on the property.
Once the lawsuit to foreclose commences, the homeowner still has a few options.
So you're not stuck still. This is taking time. This is over a course of time. So you haven't paid, and I'll just use a calendar. You haven't paid since October. So October, November, December came around, you didn't pay. Now you're late for January. And now February comes along, and they're like, you know what? Mr. Smith isn't going to pay his mortgage. And so what we're going to do is we're going to file this lis pendens. We're going to start the foreclosure process, and we're going to submit the complaint to the court. And Mr. Smith is going to have to let this play out in court, and we're going to serve him. He and or she, whatever pronoun you want to use, you're about to get served once that lis pendens is then put in place. But you still have some options.
Can seek a forbearance agreement or loan modification. The homeowner.
Okay. So now you need to understand this word that's basically out there all over the place, forbearance agreement. Understand that a forbearance agreement is not forgiveness. They're not going to forgive the loan. They're going to give you a forbearance, meaning if you haven't paid for those 3 or 4 months and you can show your hardship, they're going to tack on the balance. Tack on what you owe to the balance of the loan, push it back, in a sense, defer it. But they're not forgiving it. You still owe that money. You still owe those 4 or 5 months. So, don't think that you got away with something. Now, on the other hand, a loan modification, they may come in and say, listen, Mr. Smith, we see that you're a really good person in a bad situation, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to change your mortgage down to 6 or 7%. We're going to make your payments $1,000 a month instead of $1,500 a month. But in order for you to get these terms, we need you to send us $1,000 right now. Big difference. Hey, forbearance, I understand you're going through a hard time. We'll pick this up in, June, and we'll see, if you're in a position to begin making payments. It's an umbrella. It's something where it's basically deferred, whereas loan modification is for lack of purposes, a modifying the loan. So that's one option.
The homeowner can seek to refinance the property.
So this one, I don't see being much of an option for people. And here's why. If you're 4 or 5 months behind, especially now with the Rona, let's say you're 4 or 5 months behind and you've lost your job, the chances of you being able to refinance is slim. I don't think they're going to advance you, a new loan or new money. Now, That's possible if you've had a great history for a number of years, the property still has value, especially if the property has value. Let's say you have a $300,000 house and you only owe $150,000. You've got some wiggle room to get them to refinance, especially if you've been a good paying customer. But for the bulk of people, if you don't have a job, it's doubtful you're going to be able to refinance. Some people will tell you they can, but they're going to make you pay a high interest rate, which is going to get you back into trouble. It's going to exasperate everything all over again. And then now you've got 2 foreclosures working.
Homeowner can attempt to sell the property.
Obvious. Sell the house. If you're not going to be able to get back on your feet, at least cash out. At least find a way to say, hey, listen, this house they tell me today is worth $300,000. I only owe $150,000 after closing costs and commissions and stuff. By the way, you don't need a realtor, especially if you have that kind of equity. But I might be able to put $100,000 in my pocket. Yeah, jump on that sale, get yourself back on your feet, move on. Now, you should find a realtor that can help you move on as well. But if you have that kind of equity available to you, that kind of cash, then you're not going to be in as bad a situation moving forward. But you can get out from underneath that loan that's acting like a axe over your head.
Owner can attempt to give the property back to the bank via a deed in lieu of foreclosure.
All right, so this one is a little bit complicated. This is where you say, listen, I can't pay for this. And it's like I would call it similar to a voluntary repossession. You just bring the keys back to the dealership and say, I can't afford this. You're going to need somebody who's a strong negotiator with excellent negotiating skills and follow-up. If you do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, you want to make sure you have certain terms in place. One of those terms is you don't show or come after me for any deficiency, which I'm going to talk about. Number 2, I want this satisfied and wiped off my credit and not reported as a bad loan or a foreclosure. If they don't give you that, then to hell with doing a deed in lieu of foreclosure. I'm telling you right now, if you don't get that in writing from your attorney, the title agent that says you're free and clear once I hand these keys back, don't do it. Now, I should have the little disclaimer below says I'm not an attorney, but I'm telling you, I've seen it before. People have handed back the keys. They think it's the easiest way to go. And then 30, 60, 90 days later, they're like, oh my God, this stuff's on my credit. Don't trust the bank, ever. Make sure you get it in writing.
Homeowner may make a properly formatted bankruptcy application. The homeowner.
Okay, so, and of course my phone is ringing, so I'm going to have to turn that off. You never want to do that when you're doing a live video, even if it's the wife. But when you do a bankruptcy application, it immediately, for the most part, stops the ability for a bank to foreclose. It immediately stops right at that point. So a properly formatted application is the way to go for bankruptcy if you think you can get back on your feet. If you can't get back on your feet, don't do it. Whatever you do, it'll screw up your credit for a decade. We'll be right back.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
Okay, and we're back. So again, bankruptcy. If you're going to do a bankruptcy, make sure you're going to have to make sure you do it with an attorney. It may cost you a pretty penny, but at least you're going to do it right, and you're going to help yourself in the long run. To me, that's nuclear. To me, that's going absolutely nuclear. To me, that's putting yourself in a position, well, yeah, you may be able to stay in your home for a while, but good gosh, man, you're talking 10 years of a staying, and a lot of people won't touch you. A lot of people. So let's continue.
Can seek to sell the home via a short sale. If none of
Okay. Short sale. What is a short sale? You owe $300,000. You need a new roof. Your pool's green. Your windows are broken. Your plumbing sucks. You name it. Bottom line is the house is no longer worth $300,000. You go to the bank. Well, not you, but your representative goes to the bank and says, listen, I have an offer for $230,000 for this house. Can we sell it? Would you discount my loan to $230 so I can get this house sold, get you guys back a good portion of your money? So you have to understand, every foreclosure that a bank does costs them between $50,000 and $70,000. A lot of realtors don't know that. The attorneys do. And good short sale negotiators know that a foreclosure costs between $50,000 and $70,000 right off the top. So if you can do something to make your number appealing to the bank, you may be able to get out of the property in a short sale. Second thing you need to understand, short sales can be done nationwide by anyone who knows how to do them. So if you need to get your property through a short sale, I'd love to talk to you. I would be willing to, at any time, talk to you about doing a short sale. Just give me a call and I will help you. And we've got a top-notch team of negotiators and attorneys that can help you work through that. That being said, if you don't know who I am, my name is Barry Cunningham. I'm a real estate investor who's been involved with short sales and real estate investing for 20 plus years. I actually used to travel the country teaching realtors how to do short sales. I used to show people. I mean, we'd have sold out rooms. We specialized in short sales. So they don't like me coming to the desk. They don't want to see my proposal coming because I'm coming in with a 200 or 300 page proposal to get the bank to weaken them at the knees and say, you need to take this deal. You need right now to let Mr. Smith off the hook. You need to save your money. You got a regression analysis that shows a whole bunch of other properties in foreclosure. This is only going south on you. I meet the BPO agent at the house. We walk them through. We make sure we drop information in their laps that helps with the valuation. It's a full-blown show, and it's designed to make the bank take the offer. And one of the problems with a lot of realtors, they ask the bank what they'll take. The bank's not in control of the property. Mr. Smith, this is still your house. Don't go asking the bank what we'll take. We're telling you what we're going to offer. And here's why we're going to offer it. Here's how we substantiate the offer. I need you to counter with a substantive counter based on real numbers. See the difference there? Hey, Mr. Banker, Mr. Smith's in trouble. What would you take this as a short sale? That's insane. That is absolutely insane. If you have a realtor or a title company that says they will call the bank and they'll find out what the bank will take, run. Immediately run out of their office, rip up whatever agreement they put in front of you, and give me a call. Seriously, it's that bad for someone to ask the bank what they'll take. It's like playing poker with your cards up and watching the other guy raise you because he says, oh, you only got a pair of twos. I'm going to crush you. I could see what's happening. Don't be that guy at any point.
The options are successful. The court issues a final judgment and designates a date that the property will be sold at auction.
So if the short sale fails, if you can't sell the property, yada, 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 they're going to have an auction. I love that picture of the people standing out there at auction. Remember those good old days when they used to actually have an auction live at the house? Oh, it was the last bastion of capitalism. Now, because of Rona, we're all doing it online. But I just used to love the way we would be able to walk to a house and there'd be a group of people out there and we'd all be looking at each other. We all knew who the players were. But at that point, it was game on. So let's continue.
The property is offered to the highest bidder. Many foreclosed properties revert to the bank for an amount of...
So did I cut her off? Let me just go ahead and continue that again, because her last statement there is really important.
For an amount approximate to that of the final judgment.
Okay, so the property goes to auction. Once it goes to auction, the bank says at the court, we're going to bid. Well, you won't know most of the time, but the bank says we'll bid 175. Well, if the property's only worth 140, nobody's going to raise their hand. No, I don't want that property. I'm not going to outbid that. I'm not going to outbid it just so that the, bank can make some money back. Not going to happen. I'll just wait and buy it on the flip side in the foreclosure market. You see, if the banks don't bid, it's a free-for-all. But if they do bid, they are usually going to bid in the amount of their final judgment. They want that final judgment covered. Oftentimes, in most markets, the final judgment exceeds what most investors are going to pay for.
Laws differ from state to state. Florida.
Okay. Redemption period. A redemption period is the time between the foreclosure auction and how long the homeowner can step back in and buy the house. In Florida, it's about 15, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer depending on the courthouse. You see, there is no real redemption period to speak of in Florida. That gavel goes down, or in this instance, the online sale is closed. They're going to issue what's called a certificate of sale. And I'm getting ahead of myself here, but in that period of time, if you want to run to the courthouse and give them a check and pay off the mortgage, yeah, you can do that. But you have just that amount of time in between the auction concluding and the certificate of sale being issued.
However, has no redemption period to speak of. Once a certificate of sale is filed, the homeowner has no process of redemption. Once a certificate of title has been issued, ownership has been transferred, and the homeowner...
Okay, so understand what she just said. I'll back that up again so you can hear it again. There's two different monikers: certificate of sale and certificate of title. Certificate of sale is, I raise my hand, I'm the winning bidder, I go in and pay my deposit, I've got some time afterwards to pay the whole thing, and at that point they give me a certificate of sale. Then a week or so later, once the money has been in, there's been no objections by the lawyers to the auction, they're going to issue a certificate of title, which that means I now own that property. And that's when it's game over.
Filed, the homeowner has no process of redemption. Once the certificate of title has been issued, ownership has been transferred, and the homeowner may be forcibly evicted in as little as 2 weeks.
You get that? Now, understand we're here in the Rona period, so things are a little bit different. Actually, they're a lot different. So they're not evicting people as quickly. But in a normal market, 2-3 weeks after certificate of title is issued, you're out of there. And so you understand this time frame from notice of default to basically eviction. There are some cases I know of that have lasted 4 or 5 years. If you don't fight it, if you just get defaulted, that's going to get down to a number of months. So that's what I said very early. You need to respond. Just don't ignore it, because one day you're going to wake up and there's going to be a knock at the door and the sheriff's going to say, get out.
The bank is the new owner. They will seek to resell the property to recover their losses.
All right, so this is where it gets really interesting. So remember, I said that if the bank doesn't get what they want, what they are going to do is then bid, and then if it reverts back to them, they become the owner. If they become the owner of the property, now they're going to put it on the open market, meaning they're going to put a sign in the ground, probably hire a real estate agent, and they're going to sell the property for whatever they can get. That's when guys like me and other people run around to look at these REO properties. It's very, very competitive. So what I'm telling you, this is me talking to investors. You want to get involved in a deal somewhere between the notice of default and the auction. If it hits the auction, if it hits the MLS, you're fighting against tons of people out there. And banks are very hard to work with. Most of the banks that put REOs up for sale are going to want probably a 10% deposit. And they are going to hold the deposit. No funny business with your own escrow agents and all this kind of stuff. You have to be ready to play. They're not going to give you an inspection period for the most part. Go take a look at the property, walk around, do what you need to do, and then give us your offer. Don't play games. So it's not something that a lot of new investors can get involved in. Don't spend your money on the courses telling you to buy bank-owned properties. Don't do it. You're not ready. You're going to get killed. There's just so much involved in buying a bank-owned property that I'm basically trying to compel you to back off. Not from a competitive point. I don't care if you buy it or not. But there's so much to do to get a bank-owned property, and you got to have it right off the bat. Now comes something really interesting.
Additionally, the bank may seek a deficiency judgment against the homeowner if they're unable to cover their losses by foreclosing.
Okay, I cut Robin off there, but let me just play that again. You need to hear this, because this is what's going to terrify some homeowners. Absolutely terrify.
Additionally, the bank may seek a deficiency judgment against the homeowner if they're unable to cover their losses by foreclosing on the property, adding additional.
All right. Now comes a horror story. So, you owe $300,000. You owe $150,000. It goes at auction. Nobody buys it. Bank takes it back. They sell it for $115,000, which is $35,000 less than what you owe. The bank is going to come after you. Or let me phrase that. The bank has the option of coming after you for that $35,000. So you lost the property. It's gone. Bank owns it. You think that you've dealt with the worst of your pain, and now they're going to come after you for $35,000 more. I don't understand how it's legal. To me, it's adding insult to injury. To me, it's like sticking a knife in your back and twisting it while you're laying on the ground. The banks and these deficiency judgments can be just brutal. Now, on the good side, in some hundreds of deals, I've never seen the bank actually enforce a deficiency judgment. And I think here in the Rona period, that would just be cut through. I just don't see a bank doing it, but I had to include this because it is part of the process.
Problems for the homeowner. Why might a short sale be beneficial to someone going through foreclosure? A short sale allows...
Obvious yet? Obvious that if the short sale is something that the bank and the homeowner can work out, you are going to be free of that debt.
The homeowner to be released from the mortgage debt, meaning it will not have to be paid back. The mortgage will be satisfied after the closing of the short sale.
Okay, I want to hold right there. Again, if you're not dealing with a title agent or an attorney that knows what the heck they're doing, that's something that can get you in a lot of trouble, because that satisfaction of the mortgage has to be filed. And it has to be filed under the terms you negotiated. And then you have to make sure that they didn't report on your credit or that they're looking for a deficiency judgment. You see all these different nuances that have to take place in order for you to win? That's what you have. I say win. How about lose less?
Homeowner will be able to move on with life without a foreclosure.
Yes, and that's the idea behind this. The idea is to have a homeowner who can move on with their life without foreclosure. So right after this, we're going to head and close things out.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So hopefully this real short foreclosure process video is going to help you understand what goes on. And so how I'm going to follow this up, I'm going to jump right into basically all the aspects of putting together a short sale package. I'm going to talk to you about the BPO. I'm going to talk to you about the letter of authorization. I'm going to talk to you about the repair estimates. I'm going to walk you through how to put together a properly formatted short sale package that helps you substantiate the number you're looking to hit. You see, this is the problem I think that way back 10 years ago that I had with short sales is that there are a lot of agents and a lot of title companies out there who are looking to make fees, and that's most important to them. They're not looking out for the homeowner. And I can prove it again because once again, over the last, I'd say 12 days, I've put out 27 offers. I didn't get any declined. They just don't even respond. If they're not responding to cash offers, not even calling people back, how do you know they're going to follow up with the bank and actually do this the right way? One of the things I've been doing is I've been following up in the foreclosure auctions that are scheduled for 30 or 60 days out. And I'm contacting those homeowners and I'm telling them, hey, listen, you do not have to go through this. You don't have to see your property lost at foreclosure. I can show you how to get the bank to accept a discount and let you move forward with a bit of freedom and possibly a bit of cash. Most realtors are there for the commission. That's how they make their money. Me, I make my money by dealing with the banks. There's a big difference. It is in my best interest to get you the best deal. See the difference there? I'm not looking to make 3 or 4 or 5% on a property. I make my money by rehabbing and turning that property into a new asset that helps the bank get that non-performing asset off their books and gets you the freedom and potential cash to move on. Big difference. Big difference. I can't sit around and hope that the bank is going to take XYZ number and then just take as many listings as I possibly can. I'm here to make money. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll look you in the eye and tell you that. But the difference is in approaching a short sale and a homeowner in foreclosure. I have the tools, I have the team, and that's what makes us different. So I know this was probably just, 101 course for some realtors and some investors out there, but you new investors and especially you homeowners, I'm speaking directly to you, Mr. Homeowner. And over the next week or so, I'm going to be speaking directly to you, Mr. Homeowner. I'm going to show you how this gets done. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. And every single time you watch one of these videos, I want you to look at the realtor you may be working with. Hey, why aren't we doing this? I saw this guy, Barry, and he said this. Well, Barry doesn't know what he's talking about. that's what you're going to get. Meanwhile, you're sitting around waiting for your deal to close. I hate when Robin brings me listings and I'm like, this thing has been pending for 4 months. Did they not know how to do this short sale? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, especially here with the corona. I know there are good people in bad situations who do not want to be squatting in a property and having their wife look at them and go, hey, Mr. Deadbeat, what are you doing? I know that. I know you don't want to face your kids with your head down wondering what's going to happen. And then, contacting your realtor or title company who says, oh, we're just waiting for the bank to get back to us. We're just hoping the bank calls us real soon. Tired of that. Do something proactive. Again, if you feel like it, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about your situation. And I don't care where you live if you need a short sale. I can find a buyer in any market. Any market. My wife is a realtor in the state of Florida. Our attorney is licensed here in the state of Florida. That's the entire state. I have buyers everywhere. I have people who can fund deals just about anywhere in the state. I bring a network to the table. So if you're a homeowner and you're in trouble, please feel free to give me a call. It's going to cost you 10 or 15 minutes to find out if I can help you. That's it. No 6% commission. No running around and showing the property. Think about that. If you call me and we do a deal, you talk to one person. I show up, I walk through, I do my numbers, boom, here's where we are. You're done. You're done. That's it. No showing it. Say, hey, listen, did we have an offer yet? Does the bank call you back? No, none of that stuff. Let's do a deal. And keep watching because I'm going to take you through this entire process. One by one, video by video. We did a short sale course back in 2006 or 7. We taught like thousands of agents across the country. I found every single one of those videos, and I'm having to reformat them in 2020 style. What you just heard Robin doing in this video was that video. She did the audio on it in 2007, 2008. I had to update it with new images, but it's the same. We've been doing this for 15 years plus. We taught people how to do it. So enough of the sales pitch. Give me a call if you need some help. I'd love to help you out. And we'll see you in the next video.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.